Letting go of someone who occupies your thoughts can feel like one of life's most difficult challenges. Whether it's a lost love, a friendship that faded, or a relationship that never fully blossomed, the mind can trap us in a cycle of longing, confusion, and pain. The ancient Stoics offer profound wisdom to help you break free from this cycle, not by forcing yourself to forget or suppress feelings, but by learning to accept, reflect, and reclaim your peace. This episode presents 10 essential Stoic rules for letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about. You'll learn how to accept what's truly out of your control and stop fighting battles you were never meant to win. We'll explore why it's crucial to stop romanticizing the past and to see the full truth with both its beauty and its hurt. Creating distance and mastering your own reactions emerge as key steps toward regaining clarity and dignity. You'll discover how redefining love as something you give, not chase, shifts your sense of worth, and why confusing pain with connection only keeps you stuck. The focus then turns to who you are becoming, protecting your peace like a sacred treasure, and understanding that closure is something you create within yourself, not something to wait for from others. Finally, we'll address choosing freedom over fantasy, embracing reality even when it's painful, because it leads to genuine liberation. If you're ready to break free from the mental and emotional hold someone has on you, these Stoic rules offer a practical and compassionate roadmap. Please subscribe to Stoic Reflections, like the video, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Together, let's cultivate freedom, strength, and peace of mind, no matter what the heart has to release. Accept what's out of your hands. The first and most crucial rule in letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to accept what's out of your hands. This means recognizing that you cannot control another person's feelings, choices, or whether they remain in your life. Many of us get trapped in a painful cycle of trying to influence or change situations that are simply beyond our power, causing endless frustration and emotional turmoil. True peace begins the moment you stop fighting battles you were never meant to win. The Stoics taught that distinguishing between what is within your control and what is not is fundamental to emotional freedom. Your thoughts, actions, and responses are within your power, but other people's decisions, affections, and behaviors are not. Clinging to the hope that you can force someone to feel or act differently only prolongs your suffering. Accepting this truth is not about giving up or resigning yourself to loss. It is about shifting your focus from external outcomes to internal strength. When you accept that someone's presence or feelings toward you are out of your control, you free your mind from endless worry and heartache. You reclaim the space to nurture your own growth and peace. Practically, this acceptance requires daily reflection and reminders. When you find yourself ruminating or wishing things were different, pause and ask, "Is this something I can change?" If the answer is no, consciously let go of the need to control the uncontrollable. This release creates room for healing and clarity. This habit also encourages compassion towards yourself and the other person. Recognizing their autonomy and your own limits helps dissolve resentment and unrealistic expectations. It fosters forgiveness, not for their sake, but to unburden your heart. In relationships and life, acceptance allows you to move forward with dignity and grace. It prevents you from becoming emotionally entangled in a struggle that drains your energy and peace. In summary, accepting what's out of your hands is the foundation of letting go. It is a vital Stoic practice that liberates you from futile struggles and redirects your energy toward what you can truly influence, your own mind and well-being. So begin practicing this today. When thoughts about someone arise, remind yourself gently but firmly that their feelings and choices are beyond your control. This acceptance is the first step toward reclaiming your peace and emotional freedom, the essence of Stoic wisdom. 2. Stop romanticizing what hurt you. One of the most challenging obstacles to letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is the tendency to romanticize what hurt you. Our minds have a remarkable ability to gloss over pain, discomfort, or red flags, polishing memories until they shine with nostalgia and longing. We often cling to an idealized version of the past, focusing on the beauty and good moments while minimizing or forgetting the hurt and harm. This selective memory traps us in a loop of yearning and confusion, preventing genuine release and healing. The Stoics understood the danger of such illusions. Marcus Aurelius warned himself not to be deceived by appearances or sentiment, urging a clear-eyed, honest appraisal of events and people. He recognized that clinging to false narratives fuels suffering and keeps the mind enslaved to what should be released. Romanticizing painful experiences often stems from a deep desire for connection, love, or closure. When reality is disappointing or painful, the mind compensates by rewriting the story, amplifying the positive and muting the negative. This creates a comforting fantasy that feels safer than facing the truth, but it is ultimately a barrier to freedom. To truly let go, you must see the full truth, the beauty and the hurt, the joy and the pain, the kindness and the red flags. This requires courage and honesty. It means acknowledging the moments when you were hurt, betrayed, or disrespected, alongside the moments you cherished. It means not letting memory sanitize the past or rewrite your story. Practicing this habit involves deliberate reflection. Take time to write or think through your memories without bias or sugarcoating. Ask yourself, what parts of this relationship or connection truly served me, and what parts caused harm? What were the warning signs I ignored or minimized? How did the pain affect my well-being and growth? This balanced perspective empowers you to release attachment to illusions. This clarity also fosters self-respect. When you stop romanticizing hurt, you affirm your worth and refuse to settle for less than you deserve. You reclaim your narrative from confusion or denial and stand firmly in your truth. Furthermore, seeing the full truth helps break the cycle of repetitive thoughts and emotional relapse. You no longer chase a fantasy or hope for change that isn't real, freeing your mind to heal and move forward. In relationships and emotional healing, stopping romanticization encourages healthier boundaries and wiser choices. You learn to recognize patterns that don't serve you and to seek connections that nourish rather than deplete you. In summary, stopping the romanticizing of what hurt you is a vital Stoic rule for letting go. It invites you to embrace honesty, see the complete picture, and release illusions that bind you to the past. This truthful perspective is essential for reclaiming your peace and stepping into freedom. So commit to this practice daily. Reflect honestly on your memories and emotions. Let go of the polished fantasy and welcome the full truth, both the light and the shadow. In doing so, you clear the path for genuine healing and open yourself to a future unburdened by the ghosts of what once was. This is true emotional liberation, the heart of Stoic wisdom. 3. Create distance to regain clarity. One of the most powerful steps toward letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to create distance to regain clarity. When you remain close, whether physically, emotionally, or through constant communication, to the person who occupies your thoughts, the emotional wound stays open and raw. This closeness can blur your perception, intensify longing, and keep you trapped in cycles of hope and pain. Distance, in contrast, offers the crucial space needed to heal, reflect, and see the situation with fresh eyes. The Stoics recognized that detachment was essential for clear thinking and emotional strength. Epictetus emphasized the importance of removing yourself from distractions and attachments that cloud judgment. When your mind is inundated with reminders, messages, or physical proximity to someone who has caused you pain or confusion, it's difficult to regain objectivity or peace. Creating distance is not a sign of weakness or avoidance, but an act of courage and self-care. It protects your mental space from continuous emotional triggers that reinforce unhealthy patterns. By setting boundaries that limit contact and exposure, you give yourself permission to focus on your own well-being. Practically, creating distance can take many forms: reducing or eliminating direct communication, unfollowing or muting on social media, avoiding places or events where you might encounter them, and gently limiting conversations about the person with friends or family. These boundaries are necessary to prevent constant reminders from hijacking your thoughts. This space allows your emotions to settle and your mind to process the reality of the situation without interference. With time and distance, memories lose their immediate emotional charge, and you can reflect on the relationship more objectively. recognizing both its positive and negative aspects without distortion. Distance also helps you reconnect with yourself. When you're no longer absorbed in someone else's presence or influence, you rediscover your values, goals, and desires. You gain clarity on who you are becoming apart from that person and what kind of future you want to create. Emotionally, distance reduces the intensity of longing and anxiety. It breaks the habit of compulsive thinking or checking in, allowing your nervous system to calm and heal. This emotional regulation is key to regaining control and peace. In relationships, creating distance fosters healthier dynamics. It prevents enmeshment or codependency, enabling both parties to grow independently. Sometimes this space leads to healthier reconnections. Other times, it helps you move on with grace. In summary, creating distance to regain clarity is a vital Stoic rule for letting go. It protects your mental and emotional well-being by removing triggers and allowing objectivity to emerge. This deliberate boundary creates the conditions necessary for healing and self-discovery. So commit to establishing this space wisely. Respect your need for distance as an act of strength and self-love. With clarity restored, you empower yourself to move forward, calm, focused, and free from the emotional fog that once held you captive. This is the path to true peace and resilience, the core of Stoic wisdom. 4. Master your reactions, not their behavior. A fundamental Stoic rule for letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to master your reactions, not their behavior. It's natural to want to control or change how others act, especially when their choices cause you pain or confusion. Yet Stoicism teaches us that our true power lies not in controlling others, but in choosing how we respond to them. By focusing on your own reactions, cultivating dignity, self-respect, and emotional discipline, you reclaim control over your peace and break free from chasing attention or validation. The Stoics emphasize the importance of internal sovereignty. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the mind is like a fortress, capable of remaining unshaken regardless of external turmoil. When you fixate on changing another person's behavior or seeking their approval, you give away your power and make your peace contingent on factors outside your control. This only leads to frustration and suffering. Mastering your reactions means becoming aware of your emotional impulses and choosing responses that align with your values rather than with momentary feelings. It involves pausing before reacting, reflecting on what is truly beneficial, and responding with calm and integrity. This self-control builds resilience and dignity. Practically, mastering your reactions requires daily practice. When thoughts about the person arise, notice the feelings that follow: anger, sadness, longing, and observe them without immediately acting on them. Choose to respond with kindness toward yourself, patience, or quiet acceptance, instead of desperation or blame. This habit also means letting go of the need for external validation. Your worth is not tied to whether someone chooses or notices you. By grounding your self-respect internally, you protect yourself from emotional dependence and heartbreak. In relationships and social interactions, mastering your reactions creates healthier dynamics. You become less reactive to provocation or disappointment and more able to communicate clearly and assertively when necessary. In summary, mastering your reactions rather than trying to control others is a vital Stoic rule for emotional freedom. It shifts your focus inward, empowering you to maintain peace and dignity regardless of external circumstances. So commit to this practice daily. Cultivate awareness of your emotional responses and choose those that reflect your highest self. By doing so, you reclaim your power and move toward true emotional liberation, the heart of Stoic wisdom. 5. Redefine love as something you give, not chase. One of the most profound and freeing Stoic rules when it comes to letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to redefine love as something you give, not chase. This shift in perspective fundamentally changes how you relate to love, to yourself, and to others. Instead of tying your self-worth and happiness to whether someone chooses you or returns your feelings, you come to see love as an expression of your own values and character, a gift you offer freely without expectation or dependence. The Stoics understood love not as a transactional exchange or a means to an end, but as a virtue rooted in kindness, justice, and self-respect. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that true love flows naturally from living in accordance with reason and virtue, not from the desire to possess or control another person. When you redefine love in this way, it becomes an act of generosity and strength rather than desperation or neediness. Chasing love, constantly seeking validation, attention, or reciprocation, binds you to external forces beyond your control. This pursuit often leads to pain, anxiety, and a loss of self as your happiness hinges on someone else's actions or feelings. It creates a cycle of craving and disappointment, preventing you from experiencing peace or genuine fulfillment. By contrast, when you give love freely, rooted in your own values and integrity, you reclaim your autonomy and dignity. Love becomes an expression of your character and your commitment to kindness, regardless of whether it is returned. This perspective frees you from the emotional roller coaster of attachment and longing. Practically, redefining love involves cultivating self-love and respect first. Recognize your inherent worth independent of any relationship or external approval. When you appreciate and care for yourself deeply, you naturally embody the qualities that make love genuine and virtuous. This habit also encourages you to offer love without strings attached. Acts of kindness, compassion, and generosity become ways to express who you are rather than tools to secure affection. You give because it aligns with your values, not because you expect something in return. Redefining love in this way strengthens your emotional resilience. You become less vulnerable to heartbreak or rejection because your sense of love and worth comes from within, not from the shifting tides of another's choices. In relationships, this mindset fosters healthier connections. When love is given freely and authentically, without desperation or control, it creates space for mutual respect and genuine affection. It also helps you recognize when a relationship is not serving your well-being, empowering you to walk away with grace. Importantly, this rule teaches that love is not about possession or control. It is about freedom. You love others and you love yourself in a way that honors autonomy and virtue. This understanding opens the path to true peace and emotional liberation. In summary, redefining love as something you give, not chase, is a vital Stoic practice for letting go and reclaiming your peace. It transforms love from a source of suffering into an expression of your highest self. By loving freely and valuing yourself independently, you build an inner strength that no external circumstance can shake. So begin cultivating this perspective today. Focus on expressing love through your values and character, not through attachment or expectation. In doing so, you free your heart, honor your worth, and open yourself to genuine happiness, the essence of the Stoic way. 6. Don't confuse pain with connection. One of the most common and deeply ingrained obstacles to letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is the tendency to confuse pain with connection. Lingering sadness, emotional turmoil, or even physical ache are often mistaken as proof of love or meaningful attachment. This confusion keeps you trapped in a cycle of resistance to letting go, binding you to memories and emotions that no longer serve your growth or peace. The Stoic approach challenges this mistaken identity and invites you to release the story, freeing yourself to heal and move forward. Pain, whether emotional or physical, is a natural response to loss, disappointment, or unmet desires. It signals that something valued has changed or been disrupted. However, Stoicism teaches that pain in itself is not synonymous with connection or love. Pain can be an echo of past attachment, habit, or unprocessed grief rather than a reflection of current reality or genuine bond. Marcus Aurelius, who faced immense personal and political hardships, recognized that suffering often arises from our judgments and attachments rather than from external events themselves. He advised training the mind to distinguish between what is essential and what is the product of mistaken beliefs. Lingering pain is often a sign of resisting this truth and holding on to illusions rather than embracing acceptance. When you confuse pain with connection, you reinforce your emotional dependence on the past or on someone who may no longer be present or healthy for you. This attachment prevents you from fully engaging with the present moment and building a fulfilling future. It keeps you replaying old stories, hoping for change or reconciliation that may never come. Practicing this rule involves cultivating awareness and honest reflection. When you notice feelings of sadness or longing, ask yourself, is this pain truly a sign of love and connection, or is it a resistance to letting go? Am I holding on to a narrative that keeps me stuck? This introspection helps disentangle emotions from the stories your mind has constructed. Releasing the story means allowing yourself to grieve honestly without clinging to the past. It means accepting that the connection you seek may no longer exist or may never have existed in the way you imagine. This acceptance opens space for healing and emotional renewal. This practice also nurtures self-compassion. Letting go of pain mistaken for connection is difficult and often painful itself. Stoicism encourages patience and kindness toward yourself during this process, recognizing that growth requires courage and time. In relationships, distinguishing pain from connection prevents repeated cycles of unhealthy attachment or reconciliation attempts. It fosters clarity about what serves your well-being and what hinders it. Importantly, letting go of pain as connection does not mean denying your feelings or pretending to be unaffected. It means recognizing the difference between authentic bond and emotional entanglement, and choosing to free yourself from illusions that cause suffering. In summary, not confusing pain with connection is a vital Stoic rule for emotional freedom. It breaks the cycle of resistance and attachment that keeps you trapped in the past. By releasing the story and facing reality, you reclaim your peace and open yourself to genuine growth. So commit to this practice today. Observe your feelings of pain without automatically equating them with connection. Reflect honestly on your attachments and release what no longer serves you. In doing so, you free your heart and mind, embodying the Stoic path of clarity, courage, and true liberation. 7. Focus on who you're becoming, not who you've lost. One of the most transformative Stoic principles for letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to focus on who you're becoming, not who you've lost. When a person occupies your mind relentlessly, it's often because your energy remains tied to the past, the memories, the hopes, and the identity you once shared or imagined. The Stoic path guides you to redirect that energy and attention toward your own growth, transformation, and future, empowering you to thrive independently and rebuild your life with purpose and strength. Clinging to the past, especially to a lost connection, keeps you emotionally stuck. It traps you in old stories and identities, often accompanied by pain, regret, or longing. This fixation limits your ability to see new possibilities and to evolve into the person you are meant to become. Stoicism reminds us that life is a constant process of change and growth, and that our true power lies in our capacity to adapt and improve. Marcus Aurelius taught that we are all works in progress, with each day offering an opportunity to act virtuously and move closer to our ideal selves. Rather than lamenting what has been lost, he urged himself to focus on what he could control: his thoughts, actions, and character development. This focus on self-improvement over loss is central to the Stoic mindset. Redirecting your attention toward who you're becoming involves setting clear intentions for your personal growth. It means defining the qualities you wish to embody, whether resilience, wisdom, kindness, or courage, and actively cultivating them through daily practice. This shift transforms your identity from one anchored in loss to one rooted in purpose and forward momentum. Practically, this habit includes engaging in activities that nurture your growth, learning new skills, pursuing goals, maintaining healthy routines, and building meaningful relationships that support your well-being. It also involves regular reflection, journaling, or meditation to assess your progress and realign with your values. Focusing on your future self also fosters hope and motivation. Instead of being weighed down by what's gone, you become inspired by the potential of what you can create. This vision propels you forward with optimism and determination. Emotionally, this focus helps to reduce the grip of sadness and longing by filling your mind with constructive thoughts and actions. It strengthens your resilience by reminding you that your worth and happiness are not dependent on another person, but on your own growth and choices. In relationships and social life, concentrating on your becoming improves your interactions. When you are grounded in your values and growth, you attract healthier connections and communicate more authentically. You also develop the clarity to recognize which relationships serve your well-being and which hold you back. Importantly, focusing on who you're becoming does not mean erasing or forgetting the past. It means honoring your experiences while choosing to invest your energy in growth rather than regret. This balance brings peace and empowers transformation. In summary, focusing on who you're becoming rather than who you've lost is a vital Stoic rule for emotional liberation and flourishing. It redirects your energy from attachment and longing to purposeful self-development, building a life of meaning, strength, and joy. So commit to this habit daily. Visualize the person you want to be and take intentional steps toward that vision. Let go of what no longer serves your growth and embrace the unfolding journey of becoming. In doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal: resilient, purposeful, and free. 8. Protect your peace like it's sacred. One of the most essential Stoic rules for letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to protect your peace like it's sacred. Your inner peace is not something incidental or optional. It is the foundation of your well-being, clarity, and strength. Just as you would guard a precious treasure, you must actively defend your mental and emotional calm against anything that threatens to disturb it. This habit is crucial because, without peace, the mind becomes a battleground of conflicting emotions and thoughts, making it nearly impossible to move forward. The Stoics taught that external events, people's actions, and circumstances are often beyond our control, but the state of our mind is our sovereign domain. Marcus Aurelius described the mind as a citadel, an inner fortress that can remain untouched by external chaos if properly guarded. When you protect your peace as sacred, you are cultivating this fortress, setting boundaries on what you allow into your mental space. Protecting your peace means learning to say no to toxic influences, draining conversations, or situations that reignite old wounds. It requires the courage to walk away from anything or anyone that disturbs your calm. This isn't about avoidance, but about prioritizing your mental health and emotional stability as the foundation for your growth and happiness. Practically, this habit involves being vigilant about your environment, physical, social, and digital. You might need to limit contact with people who trigger negative emotions or unfollow social media accounts that feed anxiety or sadness. You might also create rituals or practices that restore your calm, such as meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature. Protecting your peace also means cultivating mindfulness to recognize when your tranquility is being threatened. This awareness allows you to intervene early, choosing to disengage, set boundaries, or reframe your thoughts before stress escalates. Emotionally, treating your peace as sacred transforms your relationship with yourself. You acknowledge that you deserve calm and respect, not only from others, but from your own mind and heart. This self-respect builds resilience and reduces vulnerability to emotional manipulation or self-destructive patterns. In relationships, this rule helps you create healthier dynamics. When you protect your peace, you communicate your needs clearly and refuse to be drawn into unnecessary drama or conflict. This creates respect and balance, allowing love and connection to flourish without chaos. Importantly, protecting your peace is an ongoing practice. Life will continue to present challenges, but by cultivating this habit, you build a stable inner sanctuary that supports you through difficulty and uncertainty. In summary, protecting your peace like it's sacred is a vital Stoic habit for emotional freedom and well-being. It empowers you to set firm boundaries, prioritize your mental health, and cultivate a calm, strong mind that no external force can easily disturb. So commit to this practice every day. Treat your peace as your most precious treasure. Create boundaries that honor your calm, nurture habits that restore balance, and walk away from anything that threatens your serenity. By doing so, you embody the essence of Stoic wisdom, a life grounded in unshakable peace and true strength. 9. Stop seeking closure from the one who hurt you. One of the most liberating yet challenging Stoic rules for letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to stop seeking closure from the one who hurt you. Closure is often viewed as a necessary endpoint, a conversation, an apology, or an explanation that provides finality and peace. However, Stoicism teaches that true closure is not something granted by others, but something you create within yourself. Waiting for external validation or answers can keep you trapped in a painful limbo, prolonging your suffering and delaying your healing. The desire for closure is natural. When a relationship ends abruptly, or when someone's actions cause deep hurt, unanswered questions and unresolved emotions can weigh heavily on the mind. You may find yourself replaying conversations, imagining what-if scenarios, or hoping for reconciliation. While understandable, this longing for external closure makes your peace dependent on factors outside your control, a precarious and often fruitless position. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics emphasize the importance of accepting what is, especially what lies beyond your influence. They taught that peace comes from within, and that waiting for external circumstances to change, or for others to provide answers, only prolongs inner turmoil. The wise person focuses on cultivating acceptance and understanding, regardless of external events. Creating your own closure means embracing acceptance, the conscious decision to let go of the need for explanations or apologies. It involves recognizing that sometimes people act according to their nature, limitations, or circumstances, and those reasons may never be fully understood or justified. Acceptance frees you from the endless search for meaning in the actions of others and allows you to reclaim your emotional freedom. Practically, this habit requires a shift in mindset and deliberate practice. When you catch yourself dwelling on unanswered questions or hoping for reconciliation, gently remind yourself that your peace is not contingent on others' actions. Engage in reflection, journaling, or meditation to process your feelings and affirm your commitment to move forward without external closure. This rule also encourages self-compassion. Recognize that seeking closure is a natural part of healing, but that real strength lies in taking responsibility for your own well-being and peace. You are the guardian of your heart and mind, capable of granting yourself the forgiveness and understanding you need. Emotionally, letting go of the need for closure reduces anxiety, rumination, and emotional dependency. It breaks the cycle of waiting and hoping, replacing it with calm acceptance and proactive growth. In relationships and social dynamics, this habit prevents you from being held hostage by unresolved past conflicts or unreciprocated efforts to understand. It allows you to engage with others from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. In summary, stopping the search for closure from the one who hurt you is a vital Stoic rule for emotional liberation. It shifts the power back to you, emphasizing acceptance and self-empowerment over external validation. This practice paves the way for genuine healing and lasting peace. So, commit to this habit today. Release the need for others to provide closure. Create your own peace through acceptance and self-compassion. In doing so, you embody the Stoic ideal, strong, free, and centered regardless of life's uncertainties. 10. Choose freedom over fantasy. The final and perhaps most profound Stoic rule for letting go of someone you can't stop thinking about is to choose freedom over fantasy. When we hold on to illusions, idealized images, false hopes, or imagined futures, we trap ourselves in a prison of our own making. These fantasies delay our healing, distort our perception of reality, and prevent us from embracing the truth, even when that truth is painful. Stoicism teaches that true freedom comes from facing reality honestly and courageously, choosing what is real over what is comfortable, and embracing life as it is rather than as we wish it to be. It's natural to cling to fantasies because they offer comfort and hope. When someone has left or hurt us, the mind often constructs stories of what could have been, or if only scenarios that soften the pain and keep the door open for reconciliation or change. These mental fabrications can feel safer than confronting loss, rejection, or disappointment head-on. However, the Stoics warn us that living in illusion only prolongs suffering and stunts personal growth. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself to see things clearly, to avoid being deceived by appearances or wishful thinking. He urged embracing the present moment and the facts of the situation with clarity and acceptance. This radical honesty, though difficult, is the gateway to true peace and freedom. Choosing freedom over fantasy means consciously rejecting the allure of illusions and turning your attention to what is, no matter how uncomfortable or painful. It means acknowledging the reality of loss, the limits of others, and the impermanence of relationships. This acceptance frees you from the chains of hope that keep you emotionally entangled and mentally restless. Practically, this habit requires cultivating mindfulness and critical self-reflection. When you notice yourself slipping into fantasies or idealizations, pause and question those thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true? Am I clinging to an illusion to avoid pain? Ground yourself in the facts and remind yourself that facing reality, even when harsh, leads to genuine healing. This rule also encourages you to invest your energy in the present and future you can shape, rather than the past you cannot change. By choosing freedom, you open yourself to new possibilities, growth, and authentic happiness. Free from the weight of illusions. Emotionally embracing reality reduces confusion, anxiety, and despair caused by unmet expectations. It cultivates resilience and empowers you to move forward with strength and clarity. In relationships and social dynamics, choosing freedom over fantasy helps you set realistic boundaries and recognize healthy connections. It prevents repeated cycles of disappointment and emotional dependency. Importantly, choosing freedom does not mean abandoning hope or joy. Rather, it means embracing a mature hope grounded in reality and building a life that honors your true worth and aspirations. In summary, choosing freedom over fantasy is a vital Stoic rule for emotional liberation and peace. It calls you to face truth courageously, release illusions, and embrace the present moment fully. This choice unlocks the door to genuine healing and unshakable peace. So commit to this practice daily. Notice when fantasy tempts you and choose freedom instead. Accept life as it is and build your future on truth, strength, and wisdom. In doing so, you embody the deepest teachings of Stoicism, a life lived with clarity, courage, and true freedom. True freedom and lasting peace begin when we courageously choose to let go, letting go of illusions, attachments, and the need to control what we cannot. Throughout this episode, we have explored 10 essential Stoic rules to help you release someone you can't stop thinking about. From accepting what is beyond your power and stopping the romanticizing of pain to creating distance and mastering your reactions, these principles empower you to reclaim your peace and dignity. We learn to redefine love as a gift rather than a chase, to distinguish pain from true connection, and to focus on who we are becoming rather than who we have lost. Protecting your peace like a sacred treasure, creating your own closure, and choosing freedom over fantasy complete the path to emotional liberation. These Stoic habits are not quick fixes, but lifelong practices that transform how we relate to ourselves and others. They remind us that while we cannot control others or the past, we have full authority over our own minds and responses. This authority is the foundation of true happiness and emotional resilience. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe to Stoic Reflections, like the video, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Together, we can support each other on the journey toward calm confidence and inner freedom. Remember, letting go is not forgetting. It is choosing peace, strength, and freedom every day. Commit to these Stoic rules and watch how your mind clears, your heart heals, and your spirit soars. Thank you for joining me. May your path be steady, your soul be free, and your life be filled with wisdom and peace.